You know, 4Kids just didn't give the Arlong Kokoyashi Village arc any credit. The 4Kids version of this part in One Piece just dropped the ball to me. As a kid, I just didn't care. I did not care about that arc at all. Watching it back now, the Funimation version, I understand why so many people love the Arlong arc, love the Nami story in One Piece now, because they did it so well. 4Kids just kind of dropped the ball. And on this episode, when we break down series review, I'm reviewing the second half of season 1 of One Piece, episode 31 to episode 61. Let's hop into it. What's up, world? Welcome to the episode we break down. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to the episode where we break down a series review. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What do we break down a series review? Well, it's a movie review series where we look at TV shows, anime, movie series, grade each individual season, movie, whatever the case may be, give each one a grade A through L plus or minus a due count, and then at the end of it, give an overall grade of compilation, complete series grade, A through L plus or minus a due count as well. And there's a series when we review, let me know, please put in the conversation below and I get to as best I can. Also a Patreon/Ali Zakka for $2 a month. You get the cut in front of everybody, you get to request anything you want. I get to it immediately because you're paying for my services. And I throw that out there before it comes on Facebook, YouTube. Also, you get trade reaction, trade reviews, much more stuff. Like shout out to Tyler Phoenix on my Patreon members. Appreciate you. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second half of One Piece, season 1, episode 31 to episode 61. Now, this second half of One Piece season 1 has 3 main parts, really. And I do review filler, and the reason why I review filler is because it's put out there. It's on the show as part of the series. You watch a series, you watch episode 1000 of One Piece. Not all of it is canon. You're gonna have filler in it, but they consider it. The anime consider that part of the show. So I will do the same. And not all filler is bad filler. There's filler you can watch that really, it's really enjoyable to watch. It's like a new adventure with the cast. It's kind of like a fanfic in a way, but it also doesn't have that much weight, and things should reset itself at the end of the filler. Like start off one way, to go on this little like journey, and then it should reset itself. But like, oh, this is kind of a side piece. Like the Naruto movies, which I don't know if they're filler or canon, but I'm getting off a tangent now. But like the movies people watch of anime, like they're not canon, they're filler, but it's just a fun flick to see your favorite characters on adventures and doing things. So that's why I review filler, because it's part of anime and it's a story as well. With that being said, One Piece filler is kind of hard to skip. I'm finding out so far rewatching it, because the filler episode wasn't part of 4Kids version when I was growing up. So I did not see any of the filler. And I'm watching it, I'm like, hold on. I read this part in the manga. I've seen this part in the 4Kids version, but then I added on too. If I just skip this episode, I'm be like, oh, wait a minute. How did it get here? Like, there's a piece at the end of episode 61 that if you just skip to episode 61 and an event happens, and this is a spoiler review, so I'll talk about it a little bit later, but when this event happened and this dude shows up in the ship, you're like, who the heck are you? You're not part of Lounge Town. You're not a part of the crew. Who are you? Why are you on this ship going to reverse mount with the crew? So, if you didn't watch the filler episodes, that dude appearance would be like, I don't know who you are. I do not. But let's go ahead and get into this review. There's, like I said, there's 3 main parts, and really the 2 canon parts are the Arlong Park, Kokoyashi Village, and Longetown, Longetown, which Road Town they call it in 4Kids, but it's Lounge, Louge Town. And I put an N in there. It's not lounge, no N in Luge Town. how do they pronounce it? Let me pause this real quick. It's Logtown. Logtown, not Loungetown. I'm not sure where I get the L, why I spelled it like that, but it's Logtown. And then the manga here is got it this Road Town. So, and I know because of Japan, you know, there's, I believe it's the L they don't have sometimes. I think it's L what they're missing. So like Zoro, if you read the manga, like the early mangas from Shonen Jump in America, it's Zolo. Like the anime, like 4Kids did it, but it's Zoro if you read everywhere else. I believe, sorry if I get this wrong, but the L is not present in the Japanese language. So they put other words like the R to replace it from time. The R and L are interchangeable. I believe that's, if I remember Japanese class correctly from high school. But I'm wrong because I could be wrong because I don't speak Japanese fluently. I know some, but I don't speak it nothing like, I can say Watashi wa Ali Zakka des, but that's about it. I can just tell you who I am. I can't really tell you like, this way is right, this way is left, that way is up. Maybe I should study more Japanese. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to One Piece. So, Logtown, that's where they go. The Arlong arc, Logtown, and those are two canon parts of the story. And let's start off with episodes 31 to 45. And you can argue 44 versus 45, but I'm going to keep 31 to 45, which is the majority of the second half here of the second half of season 1. And this is the Nami backstory. The Nami, how she became who she is, how she had found out her hatred of pirates and why she doesn't like pirates, because she's trying to fight for her village and get her village back from pirates. So Arlong is a fishman, which watching One Piece, you're like, fishman, where did this come from? So yes, there's fishmen in One Piece, people who live on the water, who develop power, like the ability to swim, and fish creatures pretty much. They're fishmen. Literally, the name is in, what they are is in the name. Like, Arlong is a shark. You have an octopus guy. You have a not a swordfish. He is a stingray. You have I can't think of the type of fish he is, like a water gun fish. All kind of fish you see in Finding Nemo are pretty much present here in this part of season 1 here. And pretty much Nami has enough money to buy her village back and goes back home to try to buy the village back. But as the Straw Hat crew think that she betrays them, they go and follow her and try to get her back. But Arlong, unbeknownst to the crew, is not going to let Nami go. And unbeknownst to Nami, is not going to let Nami go. Arlong has worked with a Navy guy who's kind of a rat character, and pretty much him and Arlong working together. And as long as the dude Arlong pays the Navy guy off, the Navy dude won't report Arlong to the government and let Arlong run amok across these islands, including Kokoyashi Village, which is Nami's hometown. And you get to meet Nami's crew, Nami's family, or not crew, but we get to meet Nami's family, get her backstory about her mom, her foster mom, but still she considers her mom, and her sister. And you learn like the tragedy behind that. It's a very tragic story that 4Kids just didn't do it justice. 4Kids cut out a lot of it, especially when it comes to Bellamere. Like, her death in the Funimation version is very like tragic and like hard and hits, and the 4Kids is like, throw her into a dungeon, and you're just like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't care about her mom because her mom's still alive somewhere. But no, in the 4Kids version, in the Funimation version, she's not. In the actual canon version, she's not. She's killed by Arlong, and Arlong takes Nami hostage pretty much because she can draw these maps and is really good at making maps that, like, Arlong's like, I need her part of my crew, and have her build a map of the world. And Arlong's like, yeah, I'll let you go if you can bring him enough money to buy back your village. And Arlong wasn't planning on letting her go. Like, he'll let her save the money up, but then find a way to get the money from underneath her belt, underneath her nose. As in, like, in this season, the Navy come in and take the money from Nami because they said Nami stole the money from pirates, which is stolen money. So they like, we'll just steal the money from you. And all Arlong's doing. All Arlong's doing. And Arlong, he is a racist. Like, he hates humans. He thinks fish people are superior over humans, and he will pretty much do whatever he can to stay above humans. And he literally believes that fishmen are the genetic superiors. So when Luffy and them step up to him, he's like, you can't beat me, and Luffy takes him out. Also, all the other people of the Straw Hat crew at this point, Sanji, Zoro, Usopp, all have a part in this fight, and they all take out their individual fishmen counterpart. You can say, not really. Zoro fights the sword guy, Sanji fights a karate dude, and Usopp fights a guy who can shoot water bullets. So yeah, I guess they all fight their superior people, and Usopp's probably the one who has the least ground to stand on here, and he's the one who pretty much, if you're watching One Piece at this point, like, are probably the most proud of, because he finds a way to defeat an enemy who's much stronger than him. And Usopp actually has a lot in this anime, this second half here, season 1, in this arc. He stands up a lot. He stands up to Arlong. He stands up to other fishmen. You know, he's doing the most running to get away from them, but he's the one also taking the most shots and trying to, like, stick his nose, no pun intended, into the business. Which, shout out to him. You have Johnny and Yusako, who are Zoro's old bounty hunter teammates, and they are just there. They kind of add a little more comedic stuff, and really just kind of guys be more exposition points than anything for the crew. But yeah, that's pretty much the Arlong arc, and in a nutshell, Luffy and them beat the Arlong pirates, destroyed the Arlong Empire, saved the village from Arlong's terror, which Arlong was actually released to the East Blue by a guy named Jinbei. I hope I got his name right, or Jinbei, who was a seventh warlord of the sea. The only thing about this right now, you hear of him, you don't know who he is, but you know he was a ferocious pirate, and Arlong was released to the East Blue by him, and Arlong used to be a part of Jinbei's crew at one point. And Arlong, who has the tattoo of Jinbei's crew still posted, like still on his body, has his own crew and his own symbol that Nami ends up getting on her arm. Which, here is the 4Kids version coming into it, because the 4Kids version shows the tattoo on her arm, and then all of a sudden it switched, the tattoo is gone at the end of the arc. There's no explanation to why it's gone. There's no how she got removed, it's just gone. And then here's the explanation. The full animation version actually shows you that she gets a tattoo removed. She gets a tattoo removed and get a new tattoo of a tangerine and windmill on her arm, which tangerine and windmill represent Bellemere, her homeland, and the windmill, or the pinwheel, I should say, but not the windmill, but the pinwheel represent Genzo, I got his name right, who is the sheriff of the town, who's also kind of like a role model for Nami that she looks up to. There's a lot of deep stuff in here, and it's upsetting that the 4Kids version took a lot of this out, because the 4Kids version really robbed this arc of its like essence and how strong it really is. There's a scene where Arlong and Luffy are fighting in the room that Nami made the maps in, and Arlong really tells Luffy, like, I'm not letting her go. She's gonna be on my side forever, and she's gonna constantly draw and make maps for me. And you see like the dry bloody pen that Arlong just forced Nami to just draw. And you see all that, and Luffy looks at it and sinks into Luffy. He sees the room and he starts destroying the room. And Arlong's like, what are you doing? This is all these years of work, why are you destroying the room? But in the 4Kids version, they go to that room and Arlong says something, and then just shark and all at Luffy, and Luffy does a Gongam stamp and just crushes Arlong in the room and brings the whole building down. But in the Funimation version, when he's doing all that, he's talking about it and sinks all in before Luffy is like, I'm fed up. I'm destroying this whole building and taking Nami, getting her freedom back. And he does that, crushes everything down, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is some strong stuff. And then there's Sanji. So Sanji is actually becoming one of my most annoying characters of One Piece right now. Like, the whole lover boy stick, I didn't realize how bad it really was watching the Funimation version, but anytime Nami speaks to him, his voice gets high pitched and it's really annoying. It's like, I can't say this dude. The 4Kids version didn't make him as annoying, but his voice is completely different. And when he's fighting the Stingray guy for the Arlong Pirates, in the 4Kids version, he was naming off the different dishes and different foods when he was fighting the guy. In the Funimation version, he just calling his shots like, gut kick, low kick, high kick. In the 4Kids version, he was saying different dishes of foods. And there's a scene that threw me off as a kid. I remember watching it where, I can't think of his name. I want to say Kobayashi, but it's probably not his name. But the Stingray guy was looking directly at Sanji as Sanji does his final kick, and then Sanji just kicks him to a building. There's no explanation for it. But in the Funimation version, when he's getting his butt kicked, he stands up and he looks forward. He thinks Sanji's coming in from the front, and Sanji actually jumped to the slough and kicked him from the left and kicked him to the building. And what happens there, he's like, huh? Like, he took a moment of pause, like, he's not there, and then Sanji just, poof. But in the 4Kids version, it's just, he looks here and he goes, and then, poof, and he's just like, what the heck? What happened there? Also, Zoro's scars. His scars are opening up, and he's practically almost dead, but he's not dying. His will is keeping him alive at this point. But Arlong, like, looks at him and just like, these scars, somebody did this to you. But in the Funimation version, the dread on Arlong's face is like, this man's not a man to tamper with. His scars are twice as worse than I expect. And those differences there really takes away the edge. The 4Kids version really took the edge away from this arc, and it sucks. So if you haven't seen the Arlong arc, or if you were watching One Piece and had not went back and revisited it, if you only seen the 4Kids version, go back and revisit this arc. It is really top tier and really kind of lays the groundwork for how One Piece plays moving forward. When the Straw Hat crew comes to different places, how they impact the whole area they're in, not just show up for a little bit, beat certain characters and leave. Like, they, at this point right here in this anime, this is a good indicator of what's going to be like in future arcs that I can't talk about yet because I haven't reviewed it yet, but I've seen it. Like, I guess Alabasta, Skypiea, Dressrosa, what's another one? I don't know if Thriller Bark and Water 7, maybe. But like, you learn about the politics of the land they're in. You learn about how things work, not just one person or a couple people living in an area. You learn about the politics. You learn about how this area works. You learn about how people live their life, and they're under a certain tyrant or something like that. And Luffy kind of comes in and be like, yeah, I really don't know you guys, but this guy's infecting my friend, impacting my friend's life. I'm going to take that out the main bad guy, so that way everybody else is going to live a good life. My friend deserves to have freedom, deserves to live a good life. So a lot of that happens, and then with that being said, with him taking out certain people in power, he's getting a bounty now. So Luffy at this point in the anime has a 30 million bounty after beating Arlong. His bounty gets pushed up to 30 million. And you finally get to see the Navy actually come together and put like on notice, and he has the highest bounty in the East Blue, which the East Blue is one of 4 seas, and he has the highest bounty. So now he's kind of on alert, and you get some few filler episodes here, but one of them I would say is the Buggy the Clown filler, which is actually not a filler if you really think about it. If you read the mangas, like manga 7 here, the Buggy the Clown filler that you see in the anime is actually the beginning of the panels of certain chapter titles. It's kind of neat. So it's like the little box of Oda does like a little, I guess, mini stories on each chapter title in his book. And this is the Buggy the Clown one that you see on the anime. So I love that. I love how that's actually like canon, but it's also a filler. Like, it's like you can read the manga and pretty much read each title chapter like, oh, that's kind of neat, and then go back to the story. The filler episodes are his own little thing in the manga, so it's like canon filler, which is super neat. I love it, geeking out here. And we get the reveal of the berry bounty, and then after that, we get to Logtown. And Logtown is the beginning of the end, as they call it. It's where Gold Rogers dies. It's where he was born and where he died. Or no, was he born there? You might have to check me on that one. But it definitely is where the beginning of the journey, where he tells everybody where to find One Piece. Like, you go to the Grand Line, you find One Piece. And you meet one of my favorite characters, Captain Smoker, who is a Navy officer. And he runs Logtown, makes sure no pirates come in and get the pirates out. And Luffy wants to see the execution stand that Gold Roger died on. He wants to see the execution tower, want to be on top of it. So he goes looking for it. The crew gets stuff together and get ready to go for the Grand Line, because Logtown is the last thing before the Grand Line. And in this little mini arc, which is about 6 episodes. Let me double check here. Yes, it's about 6 episodes where each Straw Hat crew member have their own story. Zoro, he has his little story where he gotta find new swords. When he fought Hawkeye B-Hawk, 2 of his swords was broken, so he needs 2 new swords. And he meets Tashigi, who helps him find a sword. They bring up a sword from Wano that, at this point, you're just like, oh, that's kind of neat. Okay, he get this legendary sword. And you're like, that's awesome. And there's another legendary sword that Zoro finds that is cursed, and he breaks the curse on the sword as well. You're like, oh, that's kind of neat. Put a check mark there, by the way, because those swords are very important to this anime, or to the storyline. However, it's kind of cool to see each Straw Hat Pirates do their own little thing. And some of it is canon, some of it is filler. Like the Big Daddy arc, or the Big Daddy storyline, that Usopp fights a sharpshooter, and the sharpshooter knows Usopp died Yasop, which you're like, this was removed from the 4Kids version, which has been kind of cool. You get more backstory on Yasop and Usopp's father, which we don't hear much about. Like, the 4Kids version completely wiped out not completely, but removed bits and pieces of the Redhead Pirates, so you just know there's people that Luffy hanged around with when he was younger, but they actually have bigger impacts on the story in the world. I like the little filler that gives the Redhead Pirates a little more gravitas, a little more meaning, and Usopp's father, a little more meaning. That's a little neat art, and it's like the little story within this town here, as Luffy goes and tries to see Gold Roger's execution stand. Buggy the Clown and Alvita returns. They team up, make a pact, they return, and they pretty much take on Luffy. And Luffy's about to get captured. He gets electrocution, shocks the stand. Luffy stands up like, oh, we good. They try to escape. Chaser, wow, that's the 4Kids version to call him Chaser. But Smoker chased down the Straw Hat crew, and they are rescued by a guy named Dragon. Put a check mark there as well, because I know who he is, but I'm not going to reveal it in this part of the review. But Dragon comes out of nowhere. He brings in a gust of wind, saves Luffy, and says we shouldn't stop Luffy for his journey. The Straw Hat crew gets out of Logtown. Chaser's like, screw that, I'm actually going to go follow this guy, because this dude has 30 million berries, but he can't fight me at all. And why Luffy can't fight Chaser? Because Chaser ate the plums, so he is pure smoke. And when Luffy tries to punch him, he turns to smoke, so Luffy can't hit him. And then he also has Sea Prism net and Sea Prism, like a Sea Prism staff, where they can use against Devil Fruit users, so Devil Fruit users can't fight against them because they're made of the sea. And if you all notice, if somebody's in Devil Fruit power, they fall into the water, they can't drown, and they just immediately lose the ability to swim. So they fell into the water, they pretty much are deadbeat. There's most of the time it's played in an anime where Luffy fight Arlong, and then he falls into the water. He can't swim because he is a Devil Fruit user, and Devil Fruit users can't swim, so you want to stay above land as much as possible, or stay on your ship. And he uses those abilities against Luffy, and I thought the dude was pretty cool. Dude turned to smoke and can't be punched. Like, what the heck? How's Luffy gonna beat this guy? And thanks to Dragon, he gets away. And to be honest, this is the first Devil Fruit uses Luffy fights that's actually stronger than him, that Luffy can't beat just with pure punches and kicks, which is kind of cool. Like, that's something that doesn't really get discussed that much in One Piece, especially in his first season, where you see him overcoming these challenges where he has a challenge but he can't overcome without help. And it's kind of funny to think about right now is that Luffy doesn't really take that to heart. Like, he gets away thanks to, like, he thinks it was a storm and a gust of wind, but he doesn't really know how he got out of the situation. But he didn't feel like he was weak yet. And I think because the anime just started, it's too early for them to really draw a giant, they feel like family. They're still getting together, still about to go on this adventure. So, but I just thought about that. Like, that's the first time Luffy actually doesn't win a fight. And there's not really like a big emphasis on it at this point. Let's put a check mark there too. Put a check mark there, because that's actually pretty interesting looking back on it now. Before I leave Logtown, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's also Sanji. So in the 4Kids version, there's a very interesting song that plays on Sanji's Sizzles episode. So Sanji gets put into a cooking tournament to win this giant elephant fish that he had his eyes on. It's a very rare fish that's from the Grand Line that gets brought into Logtown. And he fights this lady who is a renowned chef. And the 4Kids version has this whole song called Cook It Up. And it's like really upbeat, cheesy, like 90s rock kind of music. Pop, kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX theme song. Think of it for One Piece. And it just puts a smile on my face and how to play in this episode.
Hey, and cook it up, yeah. Turn up the heat. Cook it up, yeah.
But in the Funimation version, it's just a cook-off. It's not as exciting. I kind of wish the Funimation had a little more fun with that episode, because the cooking off episode, Cook It Up song, really adds a lot to the 4Kids version, where the Funimation version is just kind of like cut and dry. It's like, all right, it is what it is. It's still cool filler, but it's like, it is what it is. And then we get to the last piece, which is a filler part of season 1. It's our piece of the Millennial Dragon. But before we get there, the Straw Hat crew lays out what their goals are as far as their journey. Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates. Sanji wants to find the All Blue, which is a sea full of all types of fishes from all over the world. You can catch every fish you want all in one spot. Zoro wants to become the strongest swordsman in the world, the greatest swordsman. Nami wants to make a map of the whole world. And Usopp wants to become a brave warrior of the sea. So that's everybody's 5 missions on this journey here. And as they get ready to go to the red, or not to the red line, but go to Reverse Mountain, which is a mountain where all 4 oceans lead to one giant mountain peak, and it goes into the Grand Line. They meet a girl named Apis, who is a Millennial Dragon. It's like another 8 episodes of filler where they help Apis and the Millennial Dragon return home, fight off the Navy, who are pretty much just bad guys at this point, who believe the Millennial Dragon gives them external life. They beat them. There's a few things in the filler, like Zoro ended up cutting steel, which he can't cut yet in canon, so like I'm mad they threw that in there. Luffy uses attack look like Gear 3, which is not canon yet. They just like, F it, we're just doing whatever we want. But it's an 8 episode part of season 1. I feel like just a little bit too long. I think 5 episodes would have been plenty fine, or at least 6 episodes. But the 8th episode, I feel like it was like kind of dragging towards the end there. But then we finally get away from that filler arc. They help Apis out. Apis says goodbye. And as they're going to Reverse Mountain, the dude with the sickle fruit, which is a joke, he's a sicko, they're like a sicko. But the sickle fruit Navy dude, he appears on the ship. Nami kicks him off into the water. He has a devil fruit, so he's dead. I'm like, okay, well, they just wipe that dude away from the anime and get up the Reverse Mountain, which I was like, if I didn't watch the filler episode, I'd be like, who the freak is that? Why is he on the Straw Hat crew? But he's in the filler. He gets taken care of. And they go up Reverse Mountain. That's it. I would say with that though, the Navy in season 1 are really looked at as bad guys. From season 1 with, Himbo and Captain Morgan, and you have the rat dude from Kokoyashi Village, and you have Lieutenant Full Body with the Iron Fist, and you got the Navy dudes in the filler. The Navy really looks like bad guys in season 1. They look like they're the antagonists who are kind of dirty. A lot of them do. Versus the one dude who doesn't is Captain Smoker, who he's using his thing to like protect the town. He believes pirates are bad people, which most of them are. Luffy crew is a different crew. And Smoker's like, hey man, like keeping towns clean, keeping it safe, like Log Town is safe because of Smoker. And like there's a girl who bumps into Smoker, and Smoker looks down at her. She waits her ice cream on him, and he's like, here, get some more ice cream. Like, don't worry, it'll come off in the wash. Like, he's a cool dude, and I wish we got more side of him being like, chill to other people and kind to other people, which he does. He go around and talk to people in the town. But he's also a tough ass. He's a hard ass. Like, you just can't break his shell down like that. But he's like one of the first Navy dudes who you see. And Daddy the Bounty Hunter, you can say as well. And Tashigi, where they're not bad people. They're just doing their job. Versus everybody else in One Piece at this point, all the other Navy dudes are all like underlining crooks and doing things to like abuse their power. Which is something I thought was very interesting watching One Piece back. And to meet Smoker, like, all the other ones are really just jerks and waving their power and kind of just like being like, oh, we'll do what we want to do. We're the Navy. And you're like, no, that's not really cool, bro. Not cool at all. But I thought it was a kind of neat thing. Any other thoughts in this season, second half of season 1? Nah, the characters, Luffy is still, his good old happy-go-lucky, like, I'm going to fight for my friends kind of guy. Let's go on an adventure. I'm going to find One Piece. So he hasn't really changed much in the second half of season 1. Nami does change a lot. She's more open to pirates. She's open to her friends, actually. She believes in her friends now. Pirates, you see that pirates are not all bad people. They're good people too. And she wants to go on this journey, and she really just feels free now. She's not underneath this lock and chain that Arlong had her to. She's free, and she's her own person, and now she can go on an adventure with her friends and also get to see the world and map the whole world. So Nami actually has a lot of development in the second half of season 1. This is her pretty much second half of season 1. The other characters got themselves all laid out. Nami, this is her part of it. So Nami is really just a happy-go-lucky, not happy-go-lucky, she's a sensible person in the group, but she's also the one who's probably has the most freedom at this point in the anime, and you get to see that. That's the one change from her from the first half of season 1 to the second half. She's actually more laid back now. She doesn't feel uptight. She doesn't let herself open to the crew. And then Usopp is like, he actually has a win. He actually finally beats a guy. And not just like, with the help of Zoro, like on his own by himself. So Usopp is stepping up, but he's still weak. He still cowers. But he's also a stronger character now after he defeated the Fishman guy. So you see a little strength from him. We're like, okay, Usopp, we see you. You're still the comedic character of the group, but you still got a little win in your belt. Zoro's still the cool character. He's Mr. Two to Luffy. He's the first mate. Just cool character who's gonna step up and fight and pretty much make sure everybody stays in line kind of guy. He's just a first mate guy. Sanji the chef, he just lover boy. Like, he's more of a womanizer in this season, in the second half of the season. Every time Nami says something, he jumps, and the hard eye stuff. And he has some cool fights, but really he's just the cool chef who's flirts with girls all the time. Smoker, like I said, he's a cool character as well. One of my favorite characters. Tough guy, but at the same time has a little bit of a sweet side of him, the sweetheart side of himself, where he, taking care of kids kind of thing, but really wants to be, wants to capture pirates and don't save his town. And when he realizes Luffy gets away from him, he doesn't like defeat. Going after Luffy. Looking forward to see more of him in the following seasons, see how his character changes. But most part, just a cool character, probably a new antagonist. Buggy the Clown comes back, and Buggy the Clown's just still Buggy the Clown, but he's out for revenge now. He wants to beat Luffy, because Luffy made him look a fool. He wants to come back and beat Luffy. Just menacing character. Chop Chop Fruit. Alvina comes back, who I didn't talk about in season 1, the first half of season 1, but she's just this cohort now with Buggy. She's this companion kind of character, like his second strongest. She's fine. And then last but not least is Arlong. Arlong, who is probably one of the worst characters so far on One Piece. He's like just a horrible character pretty much. There's nothing redeeming about him. And I thought he was a good focal point to see what the world is like. He brings a different perspective to the One Piece world that you don't see yet, and he really gives a backstory on like how fishmen are, or what his version of fishmen are, and what he thinks and how he feels about fishmen. And you get to see a whole different style of politicking in the One Piece world. And then you get the rat guy, the rat navy dude, and you get to see how that all works. When he put the bounty out on Luffy, you get to see the politics and how some of the world works in One Piece. And Arlong was pretty much trying to do what some Seven Warlords of the Sea does later in chapters or later in the episodes. If Luffy didn't come by and Nami didn't try to stop him, I think it would have got much, much worse, and the East Blue would have been pretty much conquered by Arlong if Luffy didn't come and stop him. So that's actually an interesting point. Like, if Luffy didn't come along, Arlong could have got much, much worse. But yeah, Arlong was a good ending bad guy to the East Blue, like what you can see in the Grand Line. And then Chaser, or Captain Smoker, Chaser the 4Kids version, but Captain Smoker was also another indicator of what we can get in the Grand Line. So I think that's a little good points there for season 1. Any other thoughts? Music. The music is good. It's good music. The soundtrack is solid. You can pump your fist to it, nod your head to a few things. It's a good soundtrack. The animation still holds up to me. I'm watching it on Netflix, and the animation is some strong animation. I'm like clapping my hands at it. The fight scenes, the choreography with One Piece in certain fights is really, really good. The comedic chops, the comedic events and comedic little pieces and bits are funny. Like when characters do certain things, the character looked the other way, or like Luffy was fighting Arlong and he took his teeth out, took Arlong's teeth out and tried to use Arlong's teeth. Like Arlong was using his, and there's a part in the fight where Luffy goes, "You think I'm having fun?" like they were saying something like Luffy was playing around. Luffy's like, "You think I'm having fun?" And then Luffy says something else, another arc, somebody else, and it just cracked me up. I'm like, I like how Luffy is like constantly aware of what's going on. He's not just blindly fighting somebody. Like he's like, "You think I'm having fun here? I'm trying to fight for my life out here, fight for Nami here." But yeah, it's some good stuff. I enjoyed it. I really do enjoy season 1, the second half, and the first half of season 1. Is it a season you should watch? Yes, I think you can watch everything. If you really want to watch a filler episode, like those 8 episodes at the end of season 1, go for it. It's not like something that you have to watch. You're gonna be a little confused when you watch, like he cut out the filler, because the filler literally merges into the actual storyline, which I do appreciate when filler does that. Like it's not just start, oh, we're over here and this doesn't add to it as well. But like Ronnie Kenshin's filler literally is his own little thing that doesn't tie into any of the parts of the other storyline. But no, One Piece filler does merge into it, so you just can't skip it and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm good here. Like nothing changed. Like you just can't end Logtown and then go to the next part, be like Reverse Mountain, because there's a dude that pops up on the ship. You're like, how does dude ends here? And there's an explanation of like the calm belt that gets explained, why they just can't go south into the Grand Line. They have to go up Reverse Mountain because there's a strip of seas that had nothing but Neptunian monsters, giant fish monsters in the sea, and there's no winter, no nothing. It's just calm seas. There's a nesting ground, nothing but monsters. So like they can't just go straight south. Those things are explained in the filler that you just don't get in the, if you didn't watch the filler episodes. Like you wouldn't be able to understand like why they had to go up this mountain, because it's late in the filler episode that also has a bunch of storylines into it. But the filler stuff is good. It's fine. I think it just went a little too long, but it's fine. Alright. And I think you can watch, you can watch it. It's not gonna hurt you if you don't. You're not gonna be like left out, I guess, besides a few pieces. So yeah, watch the filler. Grading time. I'm gonna grade One Piece season 1, part 1 or part 2, the second half here. I'm gonna grade it an A-. It gets an A- for me. It's some strong stuff here with this, with the Arlong arc and the Log Town arc. I keep wanting to say Lounge Town, but the Log Town arc is some strong stuff in there that really like hits hard and tug on your heartstrings. The only thing about it is like the filler pieces, which I know I shouldn't count filler, but I'm going to do it anyway. But the filler arc list a little too long, but it's fine. It's not like a horrible arc. Like you can watch and be like, okay, it's neat seeing a crew here doing a little extra stuff. So it's an A- from me. It's a solid second half of a season, and I think I gave season 1 a B+. So this with the first part of season 1 B+, and then give this one A-, so 89% to 90%. Yeah, it's around about an A. So yeah, it's solid. It's solid. If you've seen One Piece, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below the second half of One Piece. That's second half of season 1 of One Piece. That's episodes 31 to 61. What did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode, movie breakdown, series review, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode movie breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.